So we were searching for the Harebrained Schemes booth here at PAX East, and I was sort of like thinking that I haven't seen Shadowrun Returns anywhere, or Shadowrun Hong Kong, or it was a completely different game that you're showing off here. Can you tell us what is Necropolis for those who don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. Necropolis is our latest title. We actually just brought a pre-alpha here to PAX, so we're showing it to the public for the first time. It's a third-person action roguelike. So what we're doing with it is we're taking sort of your classic roguelike formula, with a highly procedural dungeon, a lot of replayability, permadeath, and we are mixing that with a fast-paced, third-person, timing-based combat system. So think Dark Souls Light mixed with Spelunky.
Sounds pretty awesome. I gotta say also, the first thing that strikes me about it, and this is sort of your field, is the art direction. It's very, very nice, very sort of stylized. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were going for with it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a growing trend in graphic design and in a few video games these days to do kind of a low poly, very minimal geometric style with flat shading and kind of careful lighting and rendering. So we just wanted to try to bring that to the game in kind of a weird way. Lots of angular shapes, triangular constructions. Obviously also really inspired by titles like Journey and Wind Waker and sort of classic, more stylized games. And yeah, just trying to create something that's kind of fresh and weird and abstract and that will turn some heads.
Does it mesh well with the sort of procedural generation as well? Is it a good fit?
It does, yeah. I mean, the nice thing about that is because it is so minimal, we're able to once we sort of establish the right look and feel for things, we're going to be able to crank through a pretty good amount of assets and environment spaces for the game. So that's one place where not stopping to add a ton of little detail everywhere, just kind of focusing on the important parts. Gives us a leg up because we can create a broader experience.
So what can you tell us about the fiction and the world and the universe that you're starting here?
Sure, yeah. So Necropolis exists in a fantasy world. The Necropolis itself was built by the wizard Abraxas like 1,000 years ago or something. And he built it, at the time he was at the height of his power, but the wizard's gone missing, and the servant that he left, called the Brazen Head, is sort of the Jarvis of the dungeon, and he left this construction, it's the pyramid guy, to basically run the place. And in the 1,000 years that's passed, the Brazen Head's gone a little crazy. So when you enter the dungeon, you become trapped, and you're trying to find the way out. And at first you think the Brazen Head's going to help you with that, but it also turns out, well, he kind of wants your help to clean up the dungeon, and at times he also wants to kill you. So.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about progression and things like that? How do you treat that?
So it's a roguelike, so when you die, you're dead. Every time you start over the game, you're playing as a new adventurer that's come to the Necropolis looking for treasure and wound up getting trapped. But over time, as you play the game, you'll find things in the world, like you'll find different armor and outfit sets. Like you'll find a dead adventurer wearing armor, and then the next time you play the game, you'll be able to be that armor set and look that way starting the game. And that'll come with unique stat bonuses. You'll also be collecting a growing library of codexes, which are books that have specific passive and active upgrades associated with them. So when you start a new game, you'll be able to equip a certain number of codexes to your character. That allows you to mix up the gameplay quite a bit over time as you grow your library of potential upgrades for each new playthrough.
So does that mean that sort of you get that little reward when you die, that you get to try out something a little bit different? And
yeah, I mean, if you die right out of the gate, you probably didn't find anything new, but each time if you get a little further, you've probably found something new to use next time. The other thing that you collect, honestly, isn't just upgrades, but knowledge. So you'll find out, for example, like one creature, the Gem Eater, really likes eating certain crystal creatures called the Grind. So once you know that, you can trick the gem eater into going after the grind for you, and then you can just sit back and watch the fight. So we're going to have a lot of little things like that you can sort of learn about the ecology and the environment of the Necropolis. And once you know those things, you can really use them to your advantage.
That's one of the beauties of this kind of game, that sort of that exploration and figuring things out. And you don't want to sort of hold the hand of the player too much with these kind of things, because you gotta allow them to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, no, we want a very sort of open-ended experience. We're not trying to railroad you down a specific path. We want you to be able to explore. If there's a level way down there, and you make and you craft a Featherfall potion as an example, like, you can go down there. We've got no problem with that. You might die. There might be really hard creatures down there, right? But we'll let you go down there.
All right, so you mentioned this is basically you're giving people an early taste of it here, a pre-alpha look at the game. Where are you at in development? You're at quite a long way to go then, and
We've
how?
got a ways to go. We're about 6 months in right now. Like I said, this is actually the first time we've shown it to the public. So up till now, we've been really focused on this milestone, on getting the game ready for PAX, and hopefully impressing you guys. And then from here, we've got a lot of work to do to sort of build out our procedural system, add a lot of new content to the game, wider variety of enemies, weapons, environments, all that. And then we're looking at it either really late this year or the first half of next year for release. We want to bring it to PC for sure, so Steam, GOG, that sort of thing. We'd also really love to bring it to consoles. We think the Necropolis is a great fit for platform, for Xbox and PlayStation, so we're currently starting to look at ways that we can make that happen.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's great talking to you guys. Cheers.